this video, I'm going to talk about reaction mechanisms and the different elements involved in those mechanisms. So what I want to do in this video is give an introduction to reaction mechanisms and explain some of the elements involved in the mechanisms so that when I actually get into the actual mechanisms, these concepts could be more familiar. So what a reaction mechanism is, it's a detailed, stepwise process in which reactants undergo changes while converting into products. So basically what this is telling you is what happened between the beginning of the reaction in which you only had reactants and the end in which your products were already formed. So this will be telling you if some intermediates were formed, what elements happened, how the reaction happened, to help you understand it a little better. So a reaction mechanism has many elements. In here I just wrote some of the ones that shouldn't be as familiar, but we also have some elements are the reactants and the products, the energy, all of that. But let's start with the elementary steps. An elementary step is simply one step of the mechanism. Now this is considered an element because there are two different types of elementary steps. They could be bimolecular or unimolecular. And knowing if it's bimolecular or unimolecular will make a huge difference in organic chemistry because each involves a different mechanism overall. Then we have transition states, which are high energy structures wherein bonds are simultaneously broken and formed. So transition states don't really exist physically as molecules because of how unstable they are, but they're just basically what's in between the formation of the molecule. So we'll have some bonds broken out of the reactant to form some bonds on the product. And they can be hard to picture at first, but let's see how a transition state looks like. So let's say we start with a reactant that is like this: carbon, hydrogen, 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 and then we have an OH in here. And this is a reactant and we want to form something with chlorine instead of the OH. So we have chlorine right here, hydrogen, hydrogen, and hydrogen. The transition state is what is between these two molecules. So the transition state in this case would be something like this: hydrogen right here, two hydrogens here, and a partial bond between the carbon and the OH, and another partial bond between the carbon and the chlorine. So this bond right here is being broken, and this bond right here is being formed. So that is the definition of the transition state. It's a high energy structure wherein bonds are simultaneously broken and formed. So these two are being broken and formed at the same time. Now finally, the last element I wanted to talk about were intermediates, which are structures that are formed as a product in one step and then consumed as the reactant in the subsequent step. So you will not see intermediates at the beginning or at the end of the reaction because they're formed in the middle of the reaction and they're then consumed in the middle of the reaction. So they are not part of the reactants or the products. And that's all I wanted to talk about. In the next video, I will be going into more depth in the different elementary steps, so unimolecular and bimolecular, to really understand better how the mechanisms work. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it and found it useful. And if you did, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe to see more videos like this one.